Sentiment's been pretty weak in financial markets for quite a while now, and over the last week or so we've seen equity markets slide, and the New Zealand dollar's been reasonably weak against the US dollar, which has strengthened. The Kiwi has dipped at one stage just below that psychologically important 70-cent barrier. But things were a little bit different last night. The markets were very positive, and we saw share markets around the world all stage a pretty decent rally, and most of the major indices gained over 1%. In that appetite of improved risk appetite, we saw currency markets also perform quite well in a reversal of the moves we've seen over recent days. In that environment, the New Zealand dollar was fairly well supported, and we saw our currency lift to over 71 cents against the US dollar. Against the Aussie dollar, we're still trading below 79 cents. So the big move was against the US dollar, but we also made gains against the pound and the euro overnight. That positive sentiment in markets that we saw overnight was a little bit surprising because the data wasn't that great. If we look at the data we received from the States, it really captured the picture we've been seeing for quite some time, and that is a recovering economy, but a still very weak housing market. Overnight, the data released was housing starts and building permits for the states. They both came in below expectations and continued the run of weak housing data that we've been seeing in the states ever since that tax grant for home buyers expired earlier on in the year. The other data out, which was a little bit better, was industrial production figures, and industrial production lifted 1% in the last month, which is encouraging. We also get capacity utilisation figures from the states, and this measures the amount of slack that's in the economy. Basically, capacity utilisation is running about 75% at the moment, which is quite a recovery from the worst levels it was at during the global financial crisis. But it's a long way from running at full capacity, which is more like a figure of over 80%, which is what was recorded when the economy was going really well. So the data in the States just showed an ongoing grind that's taking place there with a very weak housing market, but nonetheless the equity markets and currency markets ignored it and had quite a positive night. In this environment of an improved appetite for risk, we saw commodities reasonably well bid. The CRB index, which is the global commodity index we monitor, lifted 0.8%. We saw oil prices rise slightly and some metals increase as well. There's no major news for New Zealand commodities in there. The next thing we're waiting to monitor is Fonterra's global dairy trade auction in early September.